Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Let Me Ask You This. We are
Who made that
back.
mistake?
It's our producer.
Yeah.
The ratings were through the roof.
Something was through the
They
roof.
were through something.
But we are back. We are back on our amazing new set, which Lori we have to thank for a lot
thank
of it. This table is amazing, and
It was actually very fun. There's a couple little things, so there may be improvements as the season progresses, but we'll work on it.
All right. So, yes, we are back and we are ready to go. This week, we have some new faces. On my team over here, we have Alan and Alexis.
The A-team.
The A-team. And Lori and Claire, the
The B-team, because
B
we're
team.
blonde.
There we go. Have joined me this week so that I can ask the people that I call my friends some fun questions. We also have an upgrade to our Tome of Knowledge, which everybody has a blank one in front of you in case you feel like writing some fun facts down. But we have our Let Me Ask You This branded tome.
Apparently I know nothing, it's blank.
I mean,
sum total of my knowledge.
I'm with you.
The true greatest knowledge is knowing that you know little to nothing. And that is true wisdom.
It's a rigidly defined area of uncertainty.
Here,
I don't know if that makes me feel better, but okay. I'll go along.
That's how I live, though.
I know.
well,
Believe me, I know.
on all of that wonderful stuff about ourselves, let's get right into this tonight, why don't we? So this week we are starting off, the first round is going to be all about fun and games. So my first question for everybody tonight, what toy company's original slogan was, "You can't hurt babies or old people"? Wow.
All right, that was turn of the century, 100 years ago.
Very specific.
It is. It is.
Well, it's not
The
Mattel.
Geneva Convention?
Those are rules, not a slogan.
Not even a company.
Both
Fisher
about as
and
helpful.
Price. That's an issue. Although I'm thinking the best name ever would be by Whammo.
You know, you're not far off. You're not
Milton
far off.
Bradley.
Though, those were board games that were designed to hurt babies. And old people.
No, this
Specifically,
has got to be some kind of physical toy company.
it is. You're on the right track.
Couldn't be Frisbee, couldn't be Whammo.
Nope.
Needs to be like
Lincoln Logs.
Acme or something like that.
It wasn't Lincoln Logs. And Acme is where Wile E. Coyote gets
I
his
know.
goods.
And that's
But it actually exists, though.
Yes,
It does.
we have all been hit in the face with this kind of football.
Nerf.
Nerf. Nerf's original slogan was, "You can't hurt babies or old people." They didn't go with it.
That is so not true.
Indeed.
But
Not with that
You can
attitude.
hurt everybody with Nerf.
But
Yeah, because man, those air guns, you crank them up a few extra
Oh, yeah.
times, man, you get
Yeah.
some distance and some.
But if we go a little bit after the invention of Nerf, how did their footballs almost hurt people?
Almost.
well,
Almost.
let's face it, somebody chewed on one at
I
some
was about to say
point or
they're
another.
poisonous.
It wasn't poison they were going with, but it was to hurt a lot of other people. Let's go to World War II.
Oh no.
Of course,
Okay.
World War II. It's always World War II.
We're going to have
They
to tread
put 'em in the
carefully here.
Nerf
Not
had
quite.
a military contract.
Almost. See, what happened
They
was...
were making Nerf grenades.
Nerf
Yes!
footballs into
They were
the
making
mortar.
no. It just dawned me as they were making actually a
Yes.
yeah.
So it's Nerf versus the Nazis.
Basically,
Who won?
it's Nerf or nothing.
Who won?
Nerf or nothing, baby. Yeah.
So, during World War II, the U.S. government was trying
Yeah.
to develop an armor-piercing grenade that anybody could throw. And because their soldiers were all good old boys, everyone knew how to throw a football. So they took a Nerf football and they put a grenade and a metal thing on the back so it would work like a rocket. And they tested this to throw and see if that would actually work as an anti-tank grenade.
Hollywood, get on this.
Yeah, it never actually got used in battle, but it was a
That's too bad.
prototype.
It never. Got, yeah.
Yeah, but what video game actually uses it now?
Oh,
Yeah, up your game, Call of Duty.
There's
Add
probably a
footballs.
mod for it.
Yeah, add footballs.
Mm,
Yeah, there
wow.
you go. All right,
Okay.
next.
Yeah.
Did you just next me?
Pass.
You can't do that. You can't pass.
Next.
The lady said next. Move
Oh,
on.
well, who am I to argue?
Sorry.
Moving from one toy that hurt people, What children's toy was modeled after a Roman weapon of war?
A children's toy.
It was a children's toy.
It wasn't Jax, was it?
No, those are a current weapon of war. Jacks never quit being ninja calibers.
I would say
We just quit sharpening them.
I would say a wooden horse, but that was the Greeks.
Jax was a precursor to Lego. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, Lego started as a duck company.
Yeah. So this was a toy that
Toy that started as a Roman...
started as a Roman weapon of war. This
A catapult or something that launched something?
It was something that was thrown.
Was it? It
wasn't
wouldn't be a
launched.
frisbee.
What? Yeah,
It wasn't a frisbee.
Slingshot.
Not a slingshot.
Lawn darts.
Lawn darts.
Lawn darts.
Okay.
Lawn
Lawn
darts.
darts.
Well, all right.
How many people have you
I may
killed?
be the only one here old enough to remember having lawn darts.
Yes.
But yeah, take this metal weighted thing, fling it into the air, and see where it lands.
And give that to 10-year-olds.
Oh yeah,
No.
I know. Let's try to have it land in a hoop and let's all stand around it.
yeah, oh yeah.
That one definitely doesn't fall under the can't hurt children or old people.
No, that was
Oh,
not.
it did. It did.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
So the lawn dart was modeled after this Roman weapon called a plumbata. It was a spear tip with a lead football-shaped weight on it.
Worked.
And yeah, they were thrown like mini javelins. And it was called a plumbata because lead, the Latin for it is, on PR table it's PB. The Latin is, something in Latin.
It ain't peanut butter.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I almost said
Well-
javelin, but I knew it wasn't really a children's toy, so.
Isn't PB the periodic symbol for lead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, I actually have that on the card I drew.
I can't read that.
Oh, good. So I can just lean all my cards
Lean
this way.
over more this
the
way.
entire
Oh, yeah.
time.
You
You are-
showed me all your cards says I can't read that.
Unless you
your
hear the
tiny
click of
ele-
echolocation, she can't see a thing on that card, I promise you.
Your tiny, elegant scrawl.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's called elegant. Thank you.
I assume it's elegant. I can't see from here. I too am blind as a mole.
Sure. So we were outside playing games. Let's go inside to play some video games.
Is it raining now?
Yeah, it's raining. We gotta come inside, pick up your
Okay.
toys. They're gonna
Oh,
rust.
man.
Go be elite gamers, yo.
Please don't rust anymore. They're plastic.
It's okay. Just
Anyway.
plow forward. Just plow
We're gonna
forward.
go for it. Okay.
Anyway, what video game is considered to be the holy grail of Atari game collecting?
Pong.
Nope.
Of collecting?
Of
Atari.
Atari game collecting.
Well, it's certainly not
BT,
Invader.
because they were all in
It
the
can't be-
landfill.
Pong was the first
Yeah,
one.
let's see.
What were you saying, Alexis?
I was going to say it can't be ET anymore because they found the landfill.
They,
Yeah.
they did. They found the landfill. For a while, it was ET.
Yeah.
So it's not Space Invaders.
It is not.
No, that was Taito.
Asteroids?
Nope. I will fully admit, this was not a game I had ever heard of. I didn't know this game existed.
Then I don't know. That is an answer.
I will give you a hint. This game could not be bought. You couldn't purchase it.
Right.
Oh.
You had to
I'm
hand in
trying to. Right. You had to send in. all this-
proof of purchases from a
Yeah.
particular.
Cannot remember.
Are we allowed to
Product.
ask for a hint?
I mean,
I just cannot remember the name
Sure.
of the stupid game.
you can ask for a hint.
Can I have a hint?
Okay, no.
Damn.
So
Is it animal or vegetable or mineral?
I will tell you, there is an animal involved.
Animals for 200.
Again, wrong show.
Wrong show.
Oh.
Wrong
Yeah.
show.
So this game was based off of a food product that was directed towards dogs.
So it was a dog food video game?
It was a dog food video game.
Yeah.
Specifically, can anybody guess?
I can see the game in front of my eyes. I cannot tell you the
Purina?
name of it.
Purina.
Oh!
Wow.
Purina.
I almost said pedigree.
The game itself was called Chase the Chuck Wagon.
That's
Based
it.
off
Ew.
of
Chuck Wagon.
based off of the
Chuck Wagon.
commercials.
Yes.
That's what I
Uh,
call my
Yes.
Friday nights.
Yes.
The old commercials, Chucky the dog would come out and the Chuck Wagon would come off and he would go after the food.
Yes.
They had a deal with Atari and they made a video game where you played as Chucky the dog
Yeah.
and you
course
had
it's
to
Chucky the dog.
avoid dog catchers and traps to get to the bowl of Purina in the middle of the screen.
Yes.
And you could only get it by turning in proof of purchases. It never actually went on retail sale.
Apparently, dog catchers back in the day didn't mess around. If these video games and stuff are to be believed.
They were catching
I'm afraid of
dogs, they were
Crossing.
catching ET, they were hitting the paperboy.
There you go.
Dangerous times.
He shouldn't look like a dog.
I actually won a video game once.
You did win a video game once.
I did. I won Super Mario Brothers 3 from Chips Ahoy.
Oh.
I did. They had, they had a little clear plastic thing that you could put on the side, and if your little Mario Man made to the end of the level, you won.
Oh.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah,
Only thing I ever won.
I only knew. We didn't have Super Mario 3 till a couple years after The Wizard came out, and I really wanted to play it because it was in The Wizard, and I didn't get to.
Oh.
It's okay though.
Didn't even have the Power Glove.
Oh, the
It
Power
was
Glove
so
was
bad.
so bad. It was awful to actually try to play with.
I had the running mat.
That had to be worse.
Oh, I cheated. I used my hands. I did this.
I worked in an arcade. I win.
I have
do
a
win.
dog
I
on my
win.
feet now.
I
Does that count?
I still hear ting in my sleep. Yeah.
How many video games said ASS? So,
All of them.
speaking of video games, and because we are on that for now, one of the most recognized video game characters is Donkey Kong. So, how did Donkey Kong actually get that name?
Wasn't it a misinterpretation?
Go on.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't remember the details. All I know is that since it
So you're
But botched translation or something like that.
botched
makes
translate
sense
well
to me, but
yeah, something like that, like lost in translation. Like they were trying to say, I think they were trying to say monkey or something.
you're close. You're really really close. So the Donkey Kong originally what happened was Nintendo had a bunch of these arcade cabinets for this game called Radar Scope that just wasn't good. It wasn't doing anything. So they turned to a young employee, some young upstart, what's his name, named Shigeru Miyamoto. I don't know, never heard of him.
Just some guy.
Yeah, they told him to reprogram the cabinets with whatever you wanted. So he came up with the idea of Jumpman and the monkey throwing barrels. What he wanted to do was he wanted to come up with a name that meant stubborn. So he went to his pocket Japanese to English dictionary and he looked up stubborn, and donkey
That's what
Okay.
it was.
was,
okay.
Yes.
because he had Kong from King Kong, the big
King
monkey.
Kong.
So he was
Okay.
trying to say, hey, stubborn monkey, but it turned into
It turned into
Donkey Kong.
yeah. Okay.
And
So-
thus,
and
history
thus-
was made.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Nintendo used to originally make? What they started making out first?
I do. Here, have a card and feel like you're hosting.
No. I refuse.
I do know what Nintendo made first. They made playing cards.
Yes, they did. They started making playing cards.
And I really want to find a pack of Nintendo playing cards. Like,
Well, that's become hard.
Those would be great. But with that, Donkey Kong does take us to the end of our first round.
Yay!
First round flew by tonight, which means
Oh my god.
we are heading into our second round. Second round of the show is always the bluff round. Before the show, I gave everybody a card with a question on it. The question has the actual answer. I then asked them to make up 2 fake answers. Each team is going to take turns trying to bluff the other one for bonus points.
Cool.
So, Lori, why don't you go first since you gave us this wonderful table and set and place to play in?
Awesome. Okay. I didn't hear the 2-part.
Oh, wow.
It's Angel all
Oh,
over
wow.
again.
Oh, it's Angel all over again.
Oh, okay, so pick 2. Pick 2 of your extras. Do you need a minute?
No, I want them all.
No, you can't have them all. You can't say next. You can't have them all.
Can you catch them all?
Typical man trying to tell us what we can do.
Oh my.
He brings more estrogen on the show, and he expects us to listen.
Don't know.
I'm
Really?
just sitting
All
here,
right,
just
so-
going to let you swim. I'm just going to let you swim.
Alright, so the question is, who was the first president to have their picture taken? James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, or Zaphod Beeblebrox?
Now, Zaphod did indeed have the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster
He did.
and the Heart of Gold that
What
he
was
stole.
his picture on it?
He was way, way, way later. So let's go back to
Y'all
let's
lost
go
me.
let's go back to the first president to have his picture taken. Trying to remember who was there that day.
Why were you?
Yeah, might as well.
I was standing by the punch bowl.
I was the one loading the black powder.
Exactly.
You know.
And in comes Jefferson with another one of his stories.
It was actually an assassination attempt with the black powder, but lo and behold.
Ah.
We ended up with a picture of the guy. I think it was Monroe.
Does your teammate agree?
I don't know. Does she?
Yes.
Why
Okay.
not?
And it was the one after Monroe. It was John Quincy Adams.
Won't be that.
Interesting.
Okay. It was close.
Close enough.
All right.
We were within 4 years.
Yeah, sure.
Alexis, as the other freshman on the show, why don't you read your question?
All right. Whose autobiography is titled Tall, Dark, and Gruesome? Is it Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, or our host?
Tall, dark, and gruesome.
After the show,
You're still going to lose.
I know I am.
Okay, just letting you know.
Right.
I'm kind of
There's no
thinking
place for you to
Vincent,
win.
too, because Christopher Lee's almost too recent's not the right word, but like I feel like if that was his, I would know about it. But that would also make me a fool if I don't. So I'm
Yes.
inclined to say.
Okay, well,
Vincent
either way,
Price.
I'm going to win. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, you're gonna win this.
You're going to usurp the title one day anyway.
Yeah, and I'm working on it. So.
So who are you guys going with?
We're going with
Vincent
Vincent.
Price.
It's Christopher Lee.
Really?
Yeah,
My man,
it was
I'm a
Christopher
fool.
Lee.
Yeah.
It was
I
certainly
love that I know
not
his rock opera better than I
our
know his
host.
his actual
Well, you
autobiography.
needed 2 wrong answers, and you were right there.
You know,
Anyway,
He's got too much. He's
You
got
know-
too much cool stuff going
you
on.
know, when you're 95 and putting out a rock album, you know,
And explaining to the director of Lord of the Rings, what noise it makes when a man is stabbed in the back, because you know.
literally, because
Yeah.
you've done it, because you really were
Yep.
the real James Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there'll be several Christopher Lee questions later on.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Not tonight. Claire.
If I can figure out how to do paper. Don't judge me.
Too late.
What artist's works have been stolen the most?
Ooh.
Is it Da Vinci, Picasso, or Van Gogh? Or Van Gogh, however you want to say it.
All 3 of those are
Well, Da Vinci was definitely the most productive.
productive, but then Van
Yes.
Gogh is Van Gogh and Picasso are up there too because of
Yes, but is all of Da Vinci's stolen work considered art?
a lot of it's more sketches, and so I don't.
Just by sheer volume, yeah. But no, I'm fairly certain in these.
I have a feeling it's more Picasso.
Yeah, because
he was-
Van Gogh couldn't give it away until
until he was unfortunately
He did
gone.
have some.
he sold a few
Yeah,
here and there,
But
but
Picasso was popular in his own time. So
yes,
Well-
Picasso existed up until recent years. So I'm
What do you guys want to go with?
gonna say old Pablo.
I think that
Yeah, I'm gonna say old
Mr.
Pablo.
Picasso.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
It is in fact Picasso. There's well over like 100, 200 pieces of his that have just been registered as stolen. Da Vinci only had 15 completed pieces. Most of the other works were sketches or partially done sculptures. And who's the other one you had in there? Van Gogh. Van Gogh did have some success in his time, but nowhere near enough.
Well, and that's the thing. Are we considering it stolen only if it was stolen while they were alive?
Oh, well, it's stolen.
Because that seems like a weird distinction to me. But
I think Van Gogh, other than Monet, has probably been the most reproduced. Like he has
Yeah.
more
Yes.
prints and
and
stuff.
I think that was another kind of
Yeah.
thing I was floating. Like, what do we mean by stolen?
Like I find Starry Starry Night like everywhere. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Stolen or copyright. That's a whole nother show. And we have,
That
We
would
have-
be the lawyer edition.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have expanded
Full
our,
edition.
our bluff round, which does take us into our final round of the night.
I don't get to bluff
well,
anymore.
let's see.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. You know what? Fine. Go
Go for it, Tom.
ahead.
I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it now.
What about my teammate Scott?
Fine. Go for it. Go.
Some people. Of course, he gives me the one that's like written in tiny, soft.
You want my glasses?
My handwriting is not that small on that card.
Yes.
On these cards, it is.
What
'cause
is
I
the
know
more common word for the medical term pyrexia? Covered in freckles, obese, or fever? Pyrexia. Common word.
Well, there's not an option for blowing up in the oven because you've been made.
No.
Not like you used to be.
Well, it wasn't the death of Pyrex.
It's not glassware, apparently.
I'm going to give you a bonus point for that.
Just my only one ever.
I'm thinking maybe fever. So what were the answers? Options again?
The options are covered in freckles, obese, or fever? Pyrexia.
If you know Latin, it would help, but no one really knows Latin.
I mean, I took years of it, but I never learned that word.
Well,
Well, I'm thinking
Wasn't she the goddess of something? I don't remember.
pie.
Which
and
bad
either
80s sci-fi movie
pyro,
was would that have
fire,
been?
or hot?
So I prayed her to find pink
Is my
Pyrex.
thought. Pyrex.
oh, what do you guys want to go with?
Is heat resistant? That's my only thought, but I'll go with the group.
You're a group of two.
It's okay.
2 is.
I'm trying to lie to you. Like that's a shock.
I am a clueless bean through and through.
I would assume Freckles would have something pigmented, and I'm not sure how pie becomes pigment.
Well, see, because I'll admit my instinct is to go with the freckles one.
Okay, we'll
But-
go with Freckles. We can go with Freckles. I'm good.
Is that what we're going with? We're going to go with Freckles?
Freckles.
All right.
Should have stuck with the Pyrex.
It was fever. You worked
Fever.
yourself into and then out of the answer.
I almost want to say you're thinking about this too hard, but
Hey,
That's what we do on
you
Let
were,
Me Ask
you were
You
dead
This.
on the money.
I was
Pyrex.
settled
You
on
cooked
the
something.
Pyrex fever.
There you go.
Okay. Can I
Now
do it?
we're at the end.
Can I do it now?
Yes.
Now you can
Now
do
I
it
can.
now.
Now I can
do it
continue.
now. Yeah.
Next.
So that brings us to our final round of the night.
Goodness.
Normally, the final round of the night, the questions do get maybe a little more difficult, maybe a little odder. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. Tonight, I
We'll
actually,
actually be able to answer them.
well, I looked at some questions that didn't quite get to make it into the shows from last season that I really wanted to.
Oh, so
Oh.
you can get the scraps.
So, well, I called it grab bag because it sounds nicer than scraps. Yeah.
first time on the show and he gives us the
Does,
scraps. Really?
Mm.
All right, so the grab bag is going to be some random questions. So, what was the first product ever to be scanned by barcode?
Gum.
Yes.
Yes,
Wrigley gum.
it was. It was a pack of Wrigley's gum. Tell us more about that.
It's made out of chicle.
How much was it?
Oh,
Do
it
you
was.
remember?
Oh, he was
gosh.
there.
Uh,
I can
okay.
actually guarantee he was there.
all right. At the changeover, when we began actually using the UPC codes, that was
5 cents.
Yeah, I mean gum was.
Yeah. So this actually happened in 1974.
Yeah, I was like, it was like 72 was like the first ATM, and we started using UPC codes like 2 years later. Yeah.
didn't realize
They
this.
were invented
Oh,
in
yeah.
1973 by a guy named George Lauer, a UPC Uniform Product Code. He invented that and the scanner for it. It was installed in Marsh's supermarket.
Marsha?
Marsh's. We're gonna try that one again.
Mm.
It was installed in Marsh's supermarket in Troy, Ohio, and the first thing ever bought with it was a pack of Wrigley's gum.
So the guy went for the cheapest thing he could find to try it out.
He was probably one of those customers like, I need to break a 50. Give me a gum.
Yeah,
They didn't
Probably.
have 50s in 1970.
yes they did.
Yes,
we
they
had $10,000 bills back then.
You might not have had a 50 in
We still
1974.
have $2 bills. What are you talking about?
50s were not that popular. Just saying.
Well, they still existed.
Yeah, they existed, but you
I'm
like,
not
had-
popular, but I exist.
You had to like go ask for them specifically from the bank.
It was just a joke to illustrate the point. It didn't.
No, you're wading into the weeds there.
They're making fun of me, aren't they?
Yeah, there we go.
That's all this show
And
is.
thank you for the self-explanatory reference. Now,
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
moving
All
on.
right. Please.
Who cooked a fish in the dishwasher?
Not me.
Your mom.
No.
Who cooked the fish?
Who cooked a fish in the dishwasher?
I am horrifyingly tempted to say.
Second question. Why?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Well, that was to prove the heating element and
Yeah.
point of the dishwasher. I'm horrifyingly tempted to say Julia Child.
No.
No.
Was it her husband?
No. It wasn't Stanley
Cooking it
Tucci.
in the dishwasher is not the French way.
How do you know you're not French?
It was a dishwasher salesman.
Ooh, what a good idea, but no.
I mean, it should have been.
So somebody did mention this person earlier on. They poached a fish in the dishwasher on the Johnny Carson show.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
Price. You had to say Johnny Carson, and I went, oh my God, because that was the same week he was on Carol Burnett, showing her the difference in lighting.
I was going to say Lucille Ball, but
No,
It was Vincent.
Vincent was a
She was busy picking
culinary
up radio signals in her
masterpiece. He was awesome in the kitchen.
Yes. He went on the Johnny Carson show and he poached a fish in the dishwasher as a kind of stunt to promote some cookbooks that him and his wife had written.
Yes.
What kind of fish?
A dead one. And
as I recall, it was a trout.
I really, really want these cookbooks, not just because they're Vincent Price, but because the name of them is awesome. It was Mary and Vincent Price Present a National Treasury of Cookery.
Yes.
That's too many syllables, but okay.
I don't care.
That's way too long a title.
It's Vincent Price cooking. I want that.
It had a picture of him on the cover in his kitchen smiling insanely.
Well, he was also selling paintings at Kmart at the same
I'd be a little
time.
afraid
Yes.
to buy that book with the way he's smiling.
Oh no, I really want. If anybody has that, let
I
me
actually
know.
remember that
We'll let you
episode.
know.
I actually remember that episode with
the Johnny Carson show?
Yeah.
Like live.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, I
It
was
was there.
watching. I wasn't in the audience. I was watching TV.
I just imagine what that studio smelled like.
Oh,
Oh my god.
It
Yeah,
smelled
that-
like dishwasher.
At least it wasn't a microwave.
So
Well, until they opened the dishwasher and then
It was wrapped. It
They were
was
in foil.
It was wrapped in foil and everything.
There was some
You didn't
lemons
smell
and-
until, yeah.
So
Some dish soap.
moving on, because we're in the area of entertainment still. Alan, you
Oh no,
you like comics, right?
not really.
Well, you deal a lot with comics and people.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Um,
tolerate comics.
And there's a lot of superheroes in those comics, and there's always a question that everybody asks themselves: and why does Superman wear the underwear on the outside? So why does Superman wear his underwear on the outside?
it holds
It's
up his
not
tights.
technically his underwear. It's Krypton-proof clothing, so he can, That's not an S either. That's the family crest.
Yeah, what's funny is Lori's actually closer on the answer. So we've always wondered this, and we have to go back to the circus for the answer here. When comics were first gaining popularity, the artists were trying to model, their superheroes, their big strong men. They were physically modeled after big circus strongmen.
Yes, who wore tights.
They did wear tights, but they also wore underwear on the outside. See, the reason for that was the strongmen, they had to wear tights for flexibility. And tights gave them that, but it didn't keep their bits in place.
Correct.
So they
So
would
it's like
wear...
a modesty.
Yes, they would wear underwear on the outside to keep everything together. Since they were performers, they wore bright, colorful
Right.
pieces.
And,
They
and a
weren't-
full cod piece would have just been too much.
They were not
so.
wearing underwear. They were wearing the same shorts as like a professional boxer would wear. So they would call them boxer shorts. They are not underwear.
So,
There's not a fly in the front of it.
No, there's not a fly
They're
in the front of it.
briefs.
They were...
They are.
Superman is not a boxer.
They were
man.
closer to what today we would call panties, but
He likes some control.
the circus strongmen wore them for color and to show off for the audience, and that translated into the writer's pen as they were drawing the comics.
so you call them underwear, but is used those to keep all their bits together. But why is not worn under the tights?
No,
Because
no,
you wouldn't have the flexibility. The tights gave them the flex. Okay, so the
They-
boxers
They wore
in
the
this...
briefs as camouflage,
Okay.
so that things could still move around in the tights, but not be
Okay.
visible to the public.
Yes,
Okay.
because when you're doing these acts, you don't want that kind of
Gotcha.
stuff.
Okay.
But yes,
Not
that
to
is
the
why,
general
if anybody has ever wondered.
Yeah.
Now that does take us to the final question of the night. Now, before I read the final question of the night, I do have to prepare you guys. I have something in my pocket here.
Uh-oh.
This is
What
illegal.
has
that a
dogs in its pockets?
I hope not.
What is in my pocket and now in my hand? This is illegal to own or to have in the United States. And now
You're
all
on
of
camera.
you are
Go for it.
accessories. So here it is.
Drugs.
What is that?
I ain't got a clue.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the inside of a Kinder Egg.
You
These
skinned it.
are
Oh my
illegal
God.
to have in
And
the
you didn't
United
share
States.
chocolate? How dare you?
I actually there was no chocolate when I got it.
Oh.
So my question is, my final question of the night for everybody: why is this illegal?
I ain't got a clue.
Because Americans can't keep their foot out of their mouth, how do they expect them to keep plastic out?
Oh, but boom.
Wow!
It's just like, you know.
And if anybody wants to play with this, please, you can. It's totally.
I'm not
It's almost
touching
like
it.
maybe they considered it a choking hazard. But how do
I
you
don't
choke
want to
on
know
that?
how you wound up the inside of a Kinder Egg. I don't want to know. I
So-
don't care.
Did your Canadians smuggle it in?
We'll get to that, but no. So full
Guys,
complete,
it's a pill pack.
yeah,
Really.
full
It's-
complete disclosure.
It's a poke.
I literally found that, but
Unlikely story. That's what we always tell the cops.
I
wow,
ain't touching it.
I found your kryptonite. Where's your magic underwear now, old man?
I'm afraid I can't keep the magic
What he
underwear.
found out, he's protecting himself.
We're not ready to have an episode about the magic underwear.
So,
No.
Claire, you mentioned something to do with choking, right? No.
Nope.
The rumor is that it
Because
has
that's
to
the
do.
rumor, but like it's not true.
Yeah, the rumor is that it has to do with choking. It doesn't have anything to do with choking.
Because like, look at that logistically. How
Like,
does little
how do you
Timmy
not
get that?
realize you're chomping on this seriously? But like, is it more something to do with like the FDA or having you can't have something like
Is it the type of plastic it's made out of?
No, you're
Like-
onto it. You're
something with the FDA? Like you can't have certain things mixed into food or something like. Or
yeah, exactly right. So in 1937, over 100 people died from this compound called diethylene glycol that was found in a pharmaceutical. Diethylene
It's called
glycol.
antifreeze.
Yeah. So because of that, the FDA passed a law that's they passed the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and it banned food products that contained anything inedible. Cut to 1974, Kinder Eggs start coming around, and it's a food product that contains this little plastic thing, which by definition of that law means no, this is illegal and you can't have it. So
Well, you just took out half of the novelty candy department.
of today, yeah.
Yes.
So, but this is the one thing that has always stood out: the Kinder Egg.
So do they still make them that way with that stuff? They just find a way.
They still make these. They
Yeah,
still-
I know, but do they still make it with that ingredient to
well, no.
plastic?
Wait, what do you mean?
So if we go buy Kinder Eggs,
Mhm.
is that still in it?
Yes,
There you go.
this is still in it.
Is it still made out of the same toxic
That's
plastic?
what I meant,
though?
yes.
The plastic wasn't toxic. Nothing in the Kinder Egg itself was toxic. What was toxic was the pharmaceutical
Plastic
back in
was
the
organic.
1930s.
Okay.
Nowadays, in the States, we can't get Kinder Eggs. We get those Kinder Joys, which are very deliberately separated. Half the egg has the toy, and half the egg has the
Or
chocolate.
just a rip off.
It really
yeah,
is.
it really is. I remember Disney had something similar to this actually because they tried to do
Mhm.
it was the Wonder Ball.
It
Yes.
was the Wonder Ball
So how come they got away with it?
because it's Disney.
Other than that,
I really don't know. That's what always baffled me. Like, honestly, on a level, I don't know how the Wonder Ball was able, because here's chocolate with a toy inside.
yeah. So
And there was other candies and other bits in there. But you mentioned, did my Canadian send? My Canadian did not send this. But if you are caught smuggling a Kinder Egg into the States from Canada, it is up to a $2,500 fine per egg. Which is kind of excessive.
kind of
That-
a lot.
that's-
That's a high stakes cavity search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you in for? Kinder.
You too? Oh, they got me.
No.
I'm
No.
All right, having been across the Canadian border once or twice, they look at you and go, "Yeah, whatever," and you just drive. If you had a whole box of Kinder Eggs, they are not gonna,
Well, that's why you don't cross the border like, nothing, officer.
No. I
Good
mean,
day, eh?
No, you put them in the back of a Subaru, and really, nobody's gonna know the
No
difference.
one's searching for candy in your car.
No one's
This
gonna
episode
be
not
looking.
sponsored by Subaru.
What is it? No one searches
Obviously.
for candy in a
Or Kinder
Subaru.
Exactly.
Well, especially if you're white.
Well, it's dog tested and dog approved.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
on that note,
Let's-
this
let's-
Kinder
let's
Egg,
run for the
Lost
border.
dog.
for legal purposes, this bit of Kinder Egg is going to be disposed of properly after the show.
Back in your pocket.
But that does, I can't trust the rest of you with this thing. But that does bring us to the end of tonight's show. And that does mean that we have to pick a winning team. The winning team tonight is Alan and Alexis.
They beat us. It's true.
That's true.
They did. They did. But that does
Still
bring
my
us...
number one.
Okay.
That does bring us to the end of our first episode of Season 2. And before we wrap up for tonight, I do just want to say one other thing. I am really glad that we're able to continue doing this. I like hanging out with the people that I call my friends and asking questions. So in the spirit of what we do here at the show, I did want to end tonight with a quote. This one comes from comedian and Broadway lyricist and composer Tim Minchin. He says, "There are things that we just don't know, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't giving an answer a go." So, from everyone here, let me ask you this. I have been your host, Scott J. Carroll. Thank you, and we will see you next time.